So it's time to wrap things up. This has been a week of ViodiTV at OPASTCO in Quebec City. We started the trip out with a lighthouse in the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, and we're ending it up with a lighthouse in Michigan. And this is pretty much a wrap-up to another summer conference for OPASTCO this year in Quebec City as it celebrated its 400-year anniversary. It was a unique conference this year in having two FCC commissioners show up. There was a lot of things if you didn't make it this year. The key was video, according to FCC Commissioner Adelstein.
What's really driving a lot of these broadband networks are the revenues that can be derived from video service right now. We used to talk about what's the killer application on broadband networks. I think it's becoming clear, video. It was in front of us the whole time.
This appears to have been a year for content. I heard comments that the best thing about the conference was that it had a lot of good content.
So we tried to catch up with John Moore, who is the keynote speaker. Unfortunately, we didn't. He left us with a number of good takeaways. One of them being that you really need to build the business, then the brand will follow. He also talked about the importance of culture, company culture, and having happy employees.
We were talking about the lobby experience and how customers increasingly have to showcase their innovation in the front office.
Another workshop focused on Ethernet in a rapidly changing industry.
I mean, one of the OPASTCO studies that just came out is that on the current course and speed, that OPASTCO members are going to lose about 13% of their revenue over the next 3 years. And what Ethernet allows them to do is significantly grow their top-line revenue while significantly reducing their cost.
The MSOs, the Tier 1s, the rural carriers are all taking a strong look at Ethernet. Even the wireless operators are taking a very, very strong look at Ethernet. I particularly enjoy working with the rural carriers, though, because they're very close to the business problem. The folks that you talk to in the technology organization are close to the business problem and the customer.
When it comes to content, this group has the passport.
And the other thing about it is advertising supported, is that right?
Right. It's free to the consumer. It's part of the, it would be offered by the operator as part of the basic tier, and it's totally advertising support.
Ken, it's an exciting time for those that are getting into VOD. The studios, it's now a real revenue stream for the studios, and their actions show, meaning earlier windows, the window dates getting closer to theatrical.
Once the customer has that question answered, they don't come back to that site. So if we have the ability to put entertainment video content up on this site, their consumers will come back consistently to their home portal page versus going to a YouTube or a Google to look for information and entertainment.
Tim Owens and Scott Meyer shared research data on marketing to the cell phone only generation.
Well, we're dealing with the next generation of customers that is reliant on their cell phone for communications and then on the internet for all of their electronic communications and online communications, and getting further and further away from landline use. Sure. And so we've conducted several studies looking at their telecom usages and trends and how to break through to them and acquire their market share.
What you're going to see from what I did with this survey really does dovetail with what Tim did with his survey. The topic is selling to a cell phone only generation. What am I going to offer these people? How am I going to reach them when they go to college and trade school and come back armed with only a cell phone?
We've taken the local loop, and instead of making a star, which is the existing infrastructure, we've changed that 100-year-old architecture into rings.
One price per signal, and that price covers transportation and covers anything that's tied in with anything that a distributor has to pay to get that programming on board.
The content part of video is the element that kind of takes you over the top. Interesting, over-the-top video. So this has been ViodiTV at OPASTCO, the summer conference 2008. It was good seeing everybody at the conference, and to those of you that weren't there, would have liked to see you and hope to see you in Hawaii.